believe we're streaming now. All right, we are live stream.
Okay.
No.
Okay. It is February 11th, 2025. The time is now 7:06, and this is a meeting of the Community Engagement Committee. We'll start with introductions. Luke?
Luke Johnson, Network Administrator.
Samantha Ives, PTA Council. Dr. Iverson, Superintendent. Rebecca Sarfalayo, Trustee.
David Warner, Trustee. And online we have Steve?
Steve Morton, PTA and PTA
Council President. Yes. No, not Council President.
Woodland.
Woodland's PTA President.
And
Woodland.
And Lisa?
Lisa Raymond, Assistant Superintendent for Business.
Great. All right. So to start out with, we had discussed at a previous meeting that we would like to have a welcome event modeled after the traditional superintendent's dessert. And basically, we would send invitations to faith-based organizations, service organizations, Realtors, Civic Association members, police department, fire departments, parents, care providers, you know, the Greenburgh Library, the Nature Center, anybody and everybody who are the mainstays of our membership and in the community. And then students would provide some form of musical entertainment. And after this, we would eat and mingle and introduce ourselves to the group. And then we would get a group of administrators, either central office or principals. We've done it various ways at different times. And then we would have each of them tell, you know, what they do and how they serve the community and what the programs are for kids, and then take questions. And this has been a successful event in the past. We were going to try and revive it. And then the question is, we were going to use a 7 p.m. April 9th as our target date, which is a CEC slot. And the real question is, what principals or central office staff are available? And so that was Dr. Iverson's task. Dr. Iverson, what do you think?
so I think I sent you an email after the meeting, went back, thought about this, and sent you an email, said I'd like to discuss it tonight, revisit this topic, because as I left here, in fact, I wanted to just remind you members, other board members, email and words at time, but my very first year here, maybe Mr. Morton, you were there, I don't know, but I know what I'm hearing is that the community wants something and some kind of an event where we can invite stakeholders and parents, community, and we do some type of a program where we celebrate and introduce and inform. So when I left here, I thought I should have remembered this. My first year here, at the end of the year, I don't know if you remember, Trustee Warren, but I did, and I didn't send you the PowerPoint because it's 4 years old. But I went back and found the PowerPoint that I did that was similar to that, and it was like the end of the year. Remember that?
Okay.
And so and it was during the day, so it could be at night. And it was during that event, it was on, in fact, June 13th, 2022. I had just finished my first year here. And what I was doing there was celebrating something similar to here, the success that we accomplished during that first year around focus areas. So I went over the purpose was to provide an end of the year summary to key district partners and stakeholders on the 5 focus areas, and they align very closely with our strategic plan, which we didn't even have at that time. But student achievement, we talked about organizational capacity, community and public relations, operational finance, parental involvement and engagement, and provide an update on where we began at the first part of the year, what we learned, what we accomplished, and where we were going. And so that was the purpose of that. And then we just went through each focus area and just went through bullets of things that we accomplished for next year.
Okay.
So, but that was at the end of the year when, I had data We could talk, we could really celebrate, you know, things that we have accomplished in all of those areas. It wasn't as early as April, and it was a different focus. And we had quite an audience. We went out to about 30 or 40 invitations, and we had many, many stakeholders to come and listen to where we were. So we went over, like I said, focus areas and student achievement in all the areas. So my point why I'm bringing it up is to open it up for discussion in terms of looking at what type of discussing that event. I don't know if April the 6th or 9th.
April 9th?
If it's
It's not.
too early.
If you don't have the numbers yet.
Yes, well, I don't, because we are still finishing up some testing and we're looking to do the mid-year progress report on the strategic plan. We have some testing being done Friday, and then, you know, I go in and I work to show the community. Here is the document where this is really the strategic plan graph, and the more you put in it, the more pages, so it was not a mistake. And so it's several copies here. I wanted to bring the committee, let you see what it looks like. So what you see there, this is the strategic plan, how we roll
Right.
it, where we fill it out from left to right, and we go through it and we put in, then you see we added a mid-year column and an end of the year. Where we are right now is collecting the mid-year data. So April 9th, we won't have any successes to, any data to share.
What do you think about June 18th?
I was thinking of it, calling it whatever we do decide, making it later. And I wanted to do it later because then we can accomplish and talk about more in all of the areas and kind of have a culminating dessert, or how we call it, where we celebrate, have music, but we will really be focused on presenting some of the accomplishments we had during the year. Principals can be there. I didn't mention it to them because I wanted to come back here first. Okay, so I didn't bring it up to the principals. I wanted to revisit this committee to see if that's something you, just to hear your thoughts on it, in terms of, and call it an end of the year review, or we can call it whatever you want. Send out the same invitations, invite the same stakeholders, but my whole cabinet will be there as well as an administrator. So we will do a comprehensive kind of analysis of that year to include music and things like that.
That sounds good to me. What do you think?
I think that sounds like a great idea. Much later, or right now we can go with something, but it's just real early.
It's early, and I think the later just gives it more focus and more to celebrate.
Yeah, I was hoping we could do that, and then, because we have some great celebrations coming, some already, and I thought, well, geez, remember you did this thing, bring that up and see if that's what we want to do here. So I can, for this committee, send you what that PowerPoint looks like, and we had a lot of accomplishments in year one. And business and finance, we went through a lot of different things. Ms. Raymond was there, was there, and we presented a lot of things that we were, from the 3 questions, where we began, what we accomplished, and where we're going, and by then we knew. So with this activity, is that something we could move later, if not June? May, but April.
The May meeting is taken up by the district-wide art show.
Oh, that's right. So June is the better.
Right, and you've got the budget in between.
Yeah.
And then, okay.
And we can still, Trustee Warner, include refreshments, entertainment. I mean, it's not that we don't go away from this, but it can still be called a dessert, but it's at the end of the year.
I think some of our community stakeholders will be around and available, since many of them will be celebrating Juneteenth with us the next day.
Oh, there you go.
What do you think, Steve?
Yeah.
I like the idea. I definitely think it should be later than earlier. So I agree with what you're saying there. But I think it's a wonderful idea.
Okay, and year. Beautiful, and if Jamal, if you're listening, there will be food. Okay. Okay.
And music.
And music and everything. Okay. Good. Sounds
Okay,
like a
so sounds
plan.
like a plan.
We're gonna work on
We'll
it.
come up with, did you say the date? Did you say it? June 18th. Okay. And so you see on your flag and everything.
No, June tenth,
Those are more meetings.
Yeah.
June 18th is the.
Oh, June tenth, you said?
June 10th.
Oh,
Oh.
Right.
that's a Tuesday.
That is a Tuesday.
Okay. Wait, hold on, because it says Greenburgh Summer Fun on my calendar.
Night of summer fun events, 6 to 7:30 p.m.
1 to 10?
And then we've got the CBC meeting at 7:30 p.m. So in other words, you wear yourself out.
Yeah, I think we tied it on to we did that one time last year too, tying it on to the event, to the end of the district event.
Doesn't
Did it
work.
work out? I mean, we all showed up. I don't know that we got
Okay.
anybody extra. My son got dragged along, I remember that.
Okay. Well, it's exactly what we do with the May meeting with the art show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we need after.
That's true. Okay, we'll leave it at the 10th, and if you decide that you want to change the time, because you get more administrators earlier in the day, but remember, the trade-off, you can't get
Right.
other people.
But yeah, we were gonna stay with the evening.
All right,
And I would encourage them.
okay. So moving on,
All right, thank you for that.
you want to bring up the agenda? And Samantha Angeletta is.
Oh, don't want to do that. Oh.
Okay, we're scrolled down to the water main science lab vote. And I believe I sent out an email right after the vote. And January 14th, the public vote was held on a proposition to release $8.2 million from the capital reserve fund. This was to finance the water main renovations for the Woodlands campus, $0.8 million, and to renovate the upgrading all 9 Woodlands Middle High School science labs, $7.4 million. The result of the vote, yes, 319, no, 34. And it passed. So the BBS architects are now in the process of meeting with our science department and begun the detailed design process so they can submit the plans to the state. Any questions on that? Okay. And wise Samantha Angeletta, who is the wise person who is not here. Well, we'll let's come back to that a little bit, and let's see if she shows up, and we'll move on to the budget. And so the budget process is moving along, right? The previous presentations to the board included the administrators had a wish list. They wanted to hire a number of people to improve things, and the superintendent had a shorter wish list and much shorter wish list, and then of course we said, well, what if we don't do anything? What happens if we just roll over the budget and find out where we're at that the baseline before we go and add anything? And the 2024 budget was the one we're operating under now was $80,567,747, and the 2025 rollover budget, if we add nothing, just keep the people we've got, is $84,867,125, and that would require a 5.11% property tax increase. And I just about seized when I saw that. Okay, so the The estimate doesn't include EPC savings, right? The energy performance construction is happening. So some things are becoming a little cheaper. We don't have the numbers in for the run rate there. The insurance prices will increase. We don't know what the size of our capital interfund transfer is. I think we found out after this report came out that our state aid went up, but not by much. Sales tax, interest income. So there are some numbers that are yet to come in on the income side. Previous budgets have been below the tax cap. So year after year, the tax cap was a little higher than we went. And so you can save that up. So we saved up so much that the tax cap that we could go for was anything up to 7.68%. And we're not going to go anywhere near that. Okay, that's bad. Okay, so but that's what we would need to have a simple majority. So another budget, the first budget that it takes all these things into consideration will come out at the February 25th board meeting, and we'll see what magical things you guys have worked on to try and get it to a more reasonable.
Ms. Rainey on the call can probably speak to that, but I don't see her.
Sure.
Yes, she is.
Yes. Lisa, do you want to say anything?
No, you about just summed it up. Dr. Iverson and Dr. Njoku and I are working on a budget for you for the 25th to present the superintendent's first draft.
Thank you. We will go from there. Okay. Any questions on that? No. Okay. Yeah, so send it back. Mr. Washington?
I have a question
Yes.
about, this is just because I don't know. I really don't understand. The energy performance contract, what will it look like to see savings from that? Does that even come into the budget, or is that just a utility bill is less? What is that?
So what is supposed to happen is that we've taken out a loan to do all these wonderful construction things, right? So the principal and interest is supposed to be covered by the savings to our utility bill.
Sure.
Okay, so in theory, it should be get out and do nothing except, we have new furnaces and better lighting and better.
Right, but don't we start paying on that principal and interest before all of our
Before it's
projects are
complete.
done? So it's gonna be a little bit before we see a zero balance.
Right. So it'll even out to a zero balance, but right now,
We're gonna see it in the budget.
or the interfund transfer will get smaller or something, right?
Thank you.
So we have to do whatever we have to do to make up for that.
Sure.
And I don't know if you're familiar with the business with the water main.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm waiting to see if we need, right, there was a controversy and I'm on the more expensive side of it, but if it means bad things for the budget, there's no other way. Now I'm gonna retreat.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll see if that becomes necessary.
Sure. Ms. Raymond on this, she wants to add anything. We talk about this all the time.
Well,
Ms. Raymond, you have anything to add?
Well, as far as the energy performance contract savings are concerned, Mr. Pugliese and I have been speaking with RWE, who is the EPC provider, trying to come up with the best estimate for the next school year. The project won't be done until sometime in the next school year, so we won't see the full potential or the full savings until the 26-27 school year. But we are working on what our savings could possibly be, a percentage, and we're also trying to get the estimate of what the return on the solar panels will be as far as money back to the district, which will not come in the form of an actual check or revenue that we will deposit, but will be taken off of our electric bill. So we're trying to calculate all of that now.
All right, that answers that. And moving on, construction, let's see, this was the construction as of December. We have a number of pictures. So could you, we'll start picture walking our way through, and we'll see where we end up. Okay. So that's the R.J. Bailey Auditorium in all its glory. Obviously, there's no peeling paint on the ceilings because the roof above no longer leaks. And Julia Long and a team of people decided what the best kind of seating was, and we installed it. And we installed a few seats in different spots. I don't know if you can see them there. Companion seats for you run up a wheelchair, and the person has a person with them, and they sit in the seat. Go ahead. And here we are at the football field. You can see a frame up above us, which is where they're going to install the solar panels. Do the next. Yeah, there's a better picture. Okay, so you're looking across at the place where this is the side where the visitors sit in the stands, and the parking lot. You'll be able to park in this parking lot just like you normally would, only you'll have a roof over your head. You have the solar panels. This was earlier on. We're installing gas lines in various places, and this is the back driveway of Highview. And so they ran a pipe along this trench and hooked it up, and it travels over the roof of Highview and goes into the furnace area and has a smaller line to the kitchen. Go ahead. Right, we fenced it off so that the kids wouldn't be in trouble. The buses, the small buses usually use this driveway, and for a while they came into the parking lot, and there were more buses, and therefore it was a little slower by about 10 minutes in the morning. And this is all taken care of now. So this has been removed. Right, those are the pipes, and that's been. HEVC video extension is required to display this file. Download and install it now. Okay, so we will.
Oh, go back. There we go.
I'm not sure what the.
We'll have to. We'll go back to the video. So.
Yeah. Fine. And that's the gas hookup. And there's that, right. Okay, there. They have since repaved over the top of the trench, and it's open. And that's where it enters the building. And you can see the yellow pipe running across the top of the roof. And oh, these are carolers. That's my wife in the foreground. And so during the Christmas season, this was our December meeting we were going to talk about. Okay. So the Woodlands students ran around to different houses and did Christmas caroling. And this is the ribbon cutting ceremony. You see Tom Abenanti there next to the board president, and they're cutting the ribbon on the R.J. Bailey Auditorium just prior to the winter concert. And you can see Paul Feiner there, and I think the kids on the two ends of the ribbon are members of the R.J. Bailey Student Council, and we have a couple of board members there in the background, and we have the head of the Theory on Community Center right there, who is also a former board member, and Dr. Iverson. Yeah. Okay, so go ahead and the principal of R.J. Bailey, Mrs. Ross. Would you?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I know you're trying to download it.
No, I'm trying to. When I zoomed in, hold on. Wow.
And there's the Woodlands Individualized Senior Experience. So Miss Angeletta should be here. She is the coordinator of WISE, and these are the elements of the WISE program. So the Woodlands Individualized Senior Experience is for seniors, and during the last semester of their senior year, they have an option of joining the WISE program, in which case what they will do is they will pick out a project, anything legal, and that they want to do. It's a learning experience. You try and get them out into the world beyond high school. The idea is to transition from having everything fed to you to having a sense of agency, sort of in determining what you want to do, and finding out and proving to yourself that you can do it. You can actually make goals and achieve them. And so the kids can come up with their own projects. They then keep a journal. We teach them little tricks as they go along. We have workshops at various points. If they may decide that they want to do what is primarily a research project, they may want to just decide that they want to go and get an internship. Okay, and so they determine that and go through and do that for most of the semester. And then when they get done, they show off their journal and they have a presentation to a panel, which is made up partially of their peers and a teacher. They will have a WISE mentor that they've chosen, usually a teacher at Woodlands, and then they will present, here's what I learned from this project. And we have opportunities for members of the community to come and teach them about what they know, if it's in line with their project, and possibly participate in workshops to teach them whatever skill is generic. How do I present things to an audience of people, right? Which will work for any project. And then at the end, we have a celebration, and people are invited to come to presentations and watch. And if Miss Angeletta were here, she would tell you. Let's see, I've got a lot of project lists for this year. So there's 27 students right now. The projects, as far as I know, are listed as automotive, making a how-to video on changing your own oil, cyclone roller coaster, design and build a model, internship, fashion, interior design, architecture, make a website on my business, which is bracelets and bouquets, resell to me, sell. How much can seed money be grown through resale? Selling candles, real estate journey, law internship. By the way, the real estate journey, the real estate person will look at what it would take to get your realtor's license, which, right, so that's an interesting career move. Law internship, criminal profiling, introduction to journalism, a Suits episode. I don't know if you're familiar with the series Suits. So yeah, so this person has written the script and she's gonna try and get her peers to dress up as lawyers and execute the script. So we'll see how that turns out. Creating a comedy show, photography, the art of the snapshot, Maponos, creating a music album, neo soul, hip hop rock, the Green Note Jazz Cafe night. We're going to try and have a jazz cafe for one night. I think probably in a little theater. Hair as a form of self-expression, history and usage of flags, history of the New York Yankees and Yankee Stadium. Any sports fans out there? Work in progress coaching. Explore marine biology through home reef aquariums. So freshwater aquariums are cheap and easy, and saltwater aquariums are difficult and expensive. This person is going for it. Reptiles, no fur, all cuddles. The guy with Komodo dragon. The science of domestic bearded lizard. The science of domesticated animals. The science of domesticated animals of two people in partnership, and ultrasound technology journey. And there are two people who have not come up with projects. That's where we're at. So if anything rang a bell, you would send your, I'm looking for, well, her name is Samantha Angeletta. So it's S Angeletta at greenburghcsd.org, or I think there's an email called wise at csd at greenburghcsd.org. Yes, that's correct. There is a, if you can, right in the right hand corner, make it larger. Wise at greenburghcsd.org, right there, and there's a telephone. So if you have any knowledge and want to share your knowledge with anyone for any of these kind of projects, take a look. Okay, I think I covered that. All right, so scroll back out and we'll continue walking along through these. Okay, so first, did we cover the remainder of the architecture? I think, oh, this is the WISE kickoff meeting, right? So it was a mixer. So we tried to get older people, such as myself and other board members, and you know, figure out, oh, I know a realtor, right? Because I have a house, and therefore, you know, talk to this person. Of course, Julia Long is a small business owner, so she knows how to do it from ground up. All right, so click through. Now there's Mr. Google. I can't remember his name. I remember that he's a representative from Google, and therefore there's a lot of technology very popular at the meeting. Okay, there's Katarina Hober there on the end. There's JJ. These are WISE alumni of the past couple of years, and JJ actually works like a student coordinator. And let's see, and I believe Katarina has an art show at the Westchester. What's the center next to the ShopRite in White Plains? Arts Westchester. Arts Westchester. So she's got an installation where you walk through and make sounds and lights. Yeah, she's got one of those. And it's around till April 13th. Okay. Go ahead. Right, Mr. Google. And there, this girl wrote the script to Suits on the left with the cartoon T-shirt. Okay, go ahead. And that's me talking to. This lady's gonna start a talent show. And we're off onto another event. Okay, so let's stop here and make sure that we don't lose out on the agenda. So we've done a construction, and we should go now to the district update by Dr. Iverson.
Thank you very, very much.
And she has a presentation.
Very few slides. Again, finally, I've been waiting, we always, all district superintendents, principals, and all of us states to see how the state has rated us as a district in terms of that accountability measure. So we found it takes a while, and it's all based on last year's test scores that we shared, that we took in the spring and I shared in the fall. We got the last piece of scores in our E&I scores, which I will share tonight. But so that's good. Once all that's in, then if you go on the website, it's public data, you can find for your district how the state has designated your district in terms of an accountability rating. So it means a lot, you know, because it tells you what kind of support you have to do or need. And so if you go to the next one. So again, this is just the title page as we continue to lifting up what is working. Look for that hashtag there. I borrowed that from the education committee meeting. That's not mine. So that's why it's the hashtag for those space, lifting up what is working. So I want to show you what's working and where we landed now as we're about to start testing again. Go ahead. As we continue to, you know, look at sustaining this work, trying to continue to seen that before. I will just do that in there. This is another sustainable ability measure, actually.
Okay.
And it's all focused in now to the test focus area about the future test, all connected there. So here we go. So if you go to the next one for me, I don't have a lot of slides. So this is the New York State Department of Education Accountability Statuses. There are several statuses that you can get. So that is a word, it's hard to pronounce, but you know, there are several, and you want to always get the one that puts you in good standing. So I'm just going to quickly go over there and show you where we are. Here is my PowerPoint. So it says, what are the school accountability, I should say school and district statuses under ESSA? This is all under every student, because every student is supposed to adhere to ensure that every child is moving along the continuum of how they learn and propose and achieve success. So the first status is LSI, that's local support and improvement. This is the highest you can get. This is a good standing, because what that says is continue sustaining your work, continue doing what you're doing, and just use your local support you've been doing. Use what's in your district. Use whatever support you're doing is working. So it's called continue. So if you want to get LSI, that's the best standing. Some schools come out targeted for school improvement. There, the state will say it could be in a certain area, language arts, or math, or it could be a subject area, say this is a target area you need to improve. So if you give TSI, they will tell you where to improve, even down to the subgroups. Sometimes they even break it down in 3 to what subgroup of all the testing that you've done, where they need more support. So they give you, they keep differentiating and breaking it down. So the third bullet is additional target support then gets into the subgroups. So when you're just getting TSI, it says your district is now designated as TSI support, meaning you need targeted support in language arts. When it gets to 3, it's saying there's not only need that, but there's additional support needed in other areas and some of the subgroups. The one you don't want to give is CSI. The CSI says comprehensively you need support in all areas. So targeted is a little better because it's not in all areas and all subgroups. So you want them to, and then if one or more of the subgroups who are tested and are identified as LSI, you know, and no other subgroups are in those other groups, they will still give you LSI status as a district. Greenburgh Central School District, I'm very proud to inform the community, is identified for local support and improvement, which means, again, continue doing what we're doing. We're in very good standing. Next one. And so what are indicators used by the state to make a school and district status termination? So this is how they come up with those TSI, CSI, LSI. They look at all of these pieces of information. They look at your weighted average of achievement and your district, your core subject performance, English, language proficiency, they look at conduct, PSM, and graduation rate. All of this is kind of thrown in some formula that or algorithm they have. They put all these figures in, and they come up with some kind of a result that identifies as one of those targets. So that's what goes into the. Okay. So the next one is now, so what I'm focusing on now is just ELL, now, because we've seen the other day. At the time I did that, I didn't have this. This came later. So kind of want to show you how our E and L students did one of our subgroups, with all the kids who were tested. Just some information about it. We go to the third bullet first. I should have probably put that first. When students come in, you know, out in Washington, they are tested by the NICE hotel, which is the New York State identification, to identify where they are in E&L in their language, so that we know how to plan for accordingly. Then they get instruction. They just keep getting instruction. It's possible that every year, though, those students are tested. And the test used for those students is called a NICE for that. And it's called, again, every ELL student must take this test every year until they demonstrate proficiency in English. And then the scale scores on this test, when they take it, then are converted to indicate whether the student is, at the end of the year, still entering, emerging, transitioning, so forth. So some information around our ELL kids and how they're tested. They are still expected to take the test, we don't take as an interview like all of the kids. So those are the activities. So then when they do that, the state then, this is the state, all ELP levels are then by the state. They take it and they determine or calculate what is called a progress rate for your district. So they look at all your ENL kids and how they test and how they progress over the, it's amazing how they look at every kid. And they calculate a progress rate for your district. And they say your district should be progressing at this rate based on how your kids are. And so then they compute what is called a benchmark and a success rate. So all of those three things go into a formula at the state, and I'll tell you what numbers they gave us for our progress rate. We don't pick it, they tell us the benchmark they gave us. It says, all your kids are testing every year. Here is where you need to get. I'll show you that. So, and I just gave you a definition of what the progress rate is, what the benchmark rate is, and then they give you finally the success ratio to determine if you're going to be LSI targeted in this area. Keep going. So, and here is the level. So we can either come out of, meaning as a district, success ratio, 1 being the lowest, 4 being the highest. Once they calculate that, they give you a final ELP district performance level for your ENL learners. So now here we are. I want to share with you now how we look at it. You're going to be very impressed. Okay, so we finally got it. Here is the language. Here's our final data. And I gave you 3 years. And it goes from 21, 22 up. And I put a little arrow there. So, and you can see how ENL population is growing. So the benchmark they calculated that we had to achieve this year, 49% of our students being proficient. The progress rate we ended up having was 55%. So we exceeded that. And then what they do is take the benchmark score and the progress rate score, and they subtract it, and they give you your success ratio. And so we are at 1.12, which is a level 3. So you see, we've moved up from 2. We would never 1. So we're so the district is doing well in our ENL population as well. So this is the elementary, and then the same data is at the bottom for our high school. No data was available in 21, 22, 22, 23. Just this year, we still scored. We overall, as a district, well, ENL kids in high school level, we are at a level 2, showing success ratio there, and you can see our progress rate. So for the high school level, the benchmark that the state said all about we must make, meaning looking at all the high school kids, calculating that formula, and then saying this is your benchmark, they came up 45%. We were right at 44. So we were still at level 2.
And what happened to the data in previous years?
I'm checking on that because I talked about in June. I don't know if it was some spin off of COVID. We think they just didn't have it, but when we didn't have enough kids. Sometimes if you don't have enough students, you don't get a score. We don't know if we have to have a certain amount of students for them to even calculate from that out. So we are checking into that because we don't know, but this is hot off the press, and wanted to share that with you in terms of how we're progressing about ENL here. So the work continues, but it's good progress, and like I said, the arrow is going up. So the Greenburgh Central School District, I was so proud to go on the website today and see LSI, because that means we are doing okay. They should sustain, continue to do better. The district is doing very well. We can still always improve, but what's working, what we're doing is working.
Good. All right.
So that's all that.
Questions?
I do have one. Do we have a targeted improvement program that is unique to our high school learners? I'm familiar with the elementary school ELL programs. I'm not as familiar with the high school, and I can see that our benchmark isn't quite as high. So I'm curious what that looks like.
Some of the teachers who do ENL push in. We have the same sort of I would say program we have the elementary level, but it's more departmentalized. And but the kids who are in that group, they get concentrated period of ENL with their ENL. So you can push in sometimes the pathways and pull them off the pathways as well. depending on what level, emerging, those schools where they are on that nice account.
Okay, well, one more question. I am interested that we don't go down at the 21 to 23 at the high school level, but I recognize that those students are coming up around, we were less successful in reaching our benchmarks, 21 to 23. There are a number of reasons for that. COVID is a big one, but all the reasons. Our high school students have lived that and are now advancing in age and advancing as humans.
And exiting the program as well.
And exiting the program. So I guess what I'm curious about is what do you and your team foresee as our younger students who have this 55% progress rate, they're going to continue to grow as they get older. Do you have an idea of in the next 3 or 4 or 5 years when you want that progress rate to be?
Well, the progress rate, we will hope as the state gives it to us. We think it's going to keep climbing. We don't know what it will be because it's calculated by them based on how our kids are progressing. And they'll come up with what that should be. I think ultimately the goal is to have all kids English proficient. That's the whole goal of all of it. So I would think it's going to continue to grow. I think, yeah, I would hope we are.
Okay. And, yeah, so the interesting thing is that the number of ELL kids have gone up, the success ratio has gone up at the same time, which is not what I expect. I expect to go, oh, I have a certain amount of capacity, and I get, as my resources get used up, it starts to get right around the edges, but that's not what's happening. It's going the other way.
Right. And go back to the slide right before Lou. That's another slide. You see where the one greater than is a 4. So greater than 1.24 will be a 4. If you go back to the slide, you see we are at 1 point right now, 1.12.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
So that's all on that.
Okay. So, a little housekeeping, minutes. Could you bring up the minutes? These are the minutes for December, since the January meeting was canceled. And Rebecca Samplio, Luke Johnson, Linda Iverson, Kelly Johnson. That's right, Kelly Johnson. And just scroll slowly through that and look for anything that needs to be corrected or added to. Talked about the superintendent's deserve.
David, I logged on later. Did you guys talk about iReady numbers or no?
Is that early on?
Yeah, we did that already.
Not the new ones for this year. No, I don't.
No. We're not
No,
doing
the iReady numbers from the kids took iReady exams in January, I think.
They're not done. So we're waiting on them to be finished. Trustee Maris, I talked to Dr. Duhu, and she said the last test is something's happening this Friday. We hope to have them soon, but I don't have them yet.
Oh, okay, thank you so much.
Sure. Okay. Continue scrolling. Right, we were coming up on our vote. We donated toys, okay. And reviewed the statistics on social media posts and adjourned at 8:08. Does anybody see anything that needs to be fixed? If not, do I hear a motion to adopt these minutes as presented?
I make a motion to adopt the minutes from the meeting on December 16th, 2024.
Do I hear a second?
I'm gonna have to abstain from the vote because I wasn't here, but can I second the motion to get it over?
Sure. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? We have minutes. Good, and they will be posted on the district website. Okay, back to the agenda. The Nettie Jackson Extra Mile Award. Nettie, that's right. Nettie Jackson was a longtime activist and also was a school secretary at Leah Jackson, and she retired, and then for about 20 years after she retired, she continued with an after-school program with after-school childcare, and she got to see a number of generations of kids come up. And she was an activist, so she would come to all the board meetings and she would complain about something, and it would be, if it was, a misplaced comma in a memo, then you everything was okay. And if there was a more substantive thing, she caught that too. So she did double duty, and she passed away of cancer, and we had an extra mile award, and we decided to name it after her because she kind of embodied what you want to see. So we take nominations from the community. So if you can think of somebody who's gone above and beyond the call of duty in serving our children, you should nominate that person for the Nettie Jackson Extra Mile Award. If they're a community member, tell what they did. If they're a member of the staff, then make sure that it's what they did in addition to what's in their job description, not just doing their job well, but going above and beyond. We will need to recruit a panel of judges to determine what these are, and usually what we do is we go back to previous winners. So we'll check on that. And we're going to need a board member who's usually not a member of the CPC to be a member of that as well. The award will be presented at the 6/17 Board of Education meeting, and the submission deadline to give time for the trophy to end up with the person's name on it, it should be June 1st. The nomination forms are posted on the district website. They're in both English and Spanish. If you go to About Board of Education and look in the right-hand column for Nettie Jackson Award, and you can fill in the form online. If you're old-fashioned and want to print it out and send it to the district clerk, you can do that. But that's what needs to happen. Okay, any questions on that? Okay, good. Recent events recap. So we have a number of things that have happened in the past month, and we have some films of them. And if the patch works, and we can look at them. And then Rebecca, you have some additional things that you may want to hit. All right. So let's start out. Let's go to what's on the left-hand corner of the World Read Aloud Day. Okay, so there it is as advertised. Okay. So on the 5th, so we had our high school students go to Leah Jackson and read to the kids, and we had a variety of parents and community members go to the other schools. So at Highview, I went to Highview. A couple of people went to Highview. I think somebody's in the picture. And I think Bailey did some interesting things as well. You attended Bailey. Can you tell us about that?
Bailey was great. It was broken down by grades. I read to the 4th graders. They had us come into the gym, and everybody who was reading took a little station around the gym, and then they broke the kids into groups of 6, and we all competed with the high schoolers who were the most popular kids in town,
Yes.
getting the kids all ramped up. But we had a great time. My group of 6 and I sat in a circle with the book in the middle so everybody could see it and discuss the story as we went. And they had a lot of opinions. We did not get through the book, but it was a great discussion and a really good event.
Good, and I was paired off with Captain Powell, the chief of the Greenburgh Police Department in one of the Highview classrooms, and so he took the, you know, I'd read a 2-page spread, he'd read a 2-page spread, I'd read a 2-page spread, so we had a good time, yes.
And that's ECP all 3 times. We got down to 10 minutes. That means became simple. And one person who came in was a former student, now a librarian.
Okay. Great. Okay, in fact, let's look, we have a few pictures. Can we, let's see. Yeah, the ones that say red, there. Okay, so I think those are some of your high school students with all their books. Yeah, I recognize a couple of the teachers there, and there's the union president there. And okay, yeah, next. Okay, so this is your standard classroom reading experience. Yeah, high school students. And oh, there's a board member. And here's kind of the summary of the people who came. Greenburgh Public Library, Jonah Rooney, Nicole Dunkel, Michelle Blanier, Inez Reynoso, Roberts, there's Chief Powell, and Officer Keenan, Trader Joe's with a donation. Okay, Paul Feiner. Yeah, I saw Paul Feiner at Ivy. Francine Shorts, a retired staff member. Sarah Bracy White, who coordinates all the art at the town hall. Parents, grandparents, the Board of Education, administrators, teachers, Dr. Joe Floyd, guidance counselor, and Brian Parker, the educational publishing supervisor, Anthony Gaines, who does MBK, GCSD librarian, Greenburgh Public Librarians for providing books for the volunteers to read. It's great. Okay. Okay, so we'll go to the next. We have many events to go. Let's see, we already did. Okay, IB sharing assembly. So we're going to start. We're starting through our Christmas type stuff. Well, you're gonna have to click on it to see what it is. It looks like it hasn't been renamed properly. See what this is. Now you're going to have to get it. Otherwise, you'll just hear it and not see it. Oh, this is the inclusion class. We have got it. Okay, and we have our regular ed students in the gymnasium
Kaneki, this is my kindergarten class, and the IB trait of the month is thinkers. And this month we've been talking about how a growth mindset is really just the way that you think. So that we're here to sing a song for you, and the song is called Happy, and they've been practicing really hard.
Okay, so that's a sample of the kindergartners. And what else is that? Okay, so let's see, moving on from that, we probably have some, the RJ Bailey, yeah. So the RJ Bailey winter concert happened right after. Okay, so that's the band, and I think we have one of the choir, yeah. So they're starting to get good. So let's see, I think the wise kickoff, we did ECP Science Fair. There should be some pictures in here somewhere. The ECP Science Fair. I don't see them. Tell us about the ECP Science Fair.
Do you want me to send you some pictures? Mr. Washington sent some awesome photos.
Yes, unless, yeah, he sent them to me too, and they somehow didn't make it to the drive. They're in my entry. Are you able to?
Let me take a look.
Okay. Yes, tell us about this.
So each classroom is fairly. So in these Woodbury classroom, tech, a science panel, what wrong with look like. So my teacher of that. And the other classroom is these classroom. They work in several science. Parents probably came there for that as well. And then we each classroom. They work in the bottom. They do a science project.
Yes, I saw there was a tray full of what appeared to be water bottles with balloons on top, and the balloons were in various stages of being inflated. What is that? Is that carbon or what?
Well, they're using, it's a secret.
Oh.
Say to do that, and the EPC fraction, the 12.2 plan, they were working on what would make it something. One last one, with different elements of water.
Okay, very good. And I believe there were,
Oh.
yeah, they're in my intro. Of my Gmail.
Okay. Let me take a look.
I logged in, yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to, mention that the women's fencing team did a great job at the sectional fencing championships this past weekend. That is, several schools from Westchester, Rockland, which are Ardsley High, well, no, it was at Ardsley High School on Saturday. Team captain Marissa Pollock competed to first place in individual women's foil. Sarah Flanagan took second place in the individual competition. The men's and women's team both took silver medal in foil, and the women's placed fifth in a P. Congratulations also to Ben Nunez, who placed fifth in men's individual foil. And of course, special thank you to Ms. Weir and Ms. Williams, because these are some of the first awards for the school and the first categories.
Yeah.
I know we're still, I'm just gonna move ahead a little bit, that Highview's third grade talent show was moved to this Thursday at 7. Moving ahead, Woodlands High School Drama Club will be showcasing Footloose the musical the weekend of March 21st through the 23rd. And there is a women's history essay contest underway, spearheaded by Jewel Williams Johnson, who's a Westchester County legislator for District 8, which encompasses Greenburgh. I, for the life of me, cannot find the link.
I sent you the poster.
You emailed me the
I
poster?
sent it through Messenger, and I have it at the.
Oh, okay, hold on.
Spent some time.
Who is it from, Mr.
You see it? I see it, it's not opening up.
My email?
Might be my,
Yeah, I have to just.
oh, thank you.
I believe that has all of the information on it.
So it's open for high school students. To celebrate unity through an essay contest, there's prizes, to first place prizes. High school students earn a $50 gift card. Emerging adult, which is supposed to be 18 to 21-year-old, is also $150 gift card, and 4 honorable mentions will be chosen. And you basically, choose one of the 12 historic Afro-Latina or Afro-Hispanic women below, and they named them, the 12, who have made a lasting impact on civil rights, equality, and justice. And through the essay, you would need to shine a light on her remarkable story and connect her achievements to the broader struggles for inclusion and equality. And just mentioning that this essay could inspire others to embrace the commonalities in our histories and foster unity among people of color. I mentioned the details. Essay length should be 300 to 750 words, reflecting the depth and creativity of your research and writing. And submissions or questions, I'm guessing, can be emailed to williams.johnson@westchesterlegislators.com. And the deadline is March 15th.
Okay. That was the key.
I can't find an actual website with this information. But
Anyone who wants more information can also email me on social media.
And are those all right, so click it. Make it big and lead us through. What are we looking at?
We see them putting together their secret part to make with the balloons expand. That's one of our parents there, the teacher, Jennifer from UVA. So the room two, the open concept room that is decorated, kids working on pre-assignment of science leading up to the one that you saw on the page. So Valerie class.
Yeah, it looks like they're counting skittles.
Yes. They had two different assignments. Same classroom.
There we go. There it is.
Second classroom.
And that looks like salt and flour. Okay. Thank you. Getting started early. Okay. So, do you have any more?
I just had to, no machine,
No machine.
I had to remind you.
Okay, so let's finish. All right, so item 11, basically we have, scroll up a little bit. Right, so we have the upcoming facilities committee meeting. We have various sports events. It appears that the sports events were filled out on the district calendar up through the winter recess and nothing afterwards. So we'll have to check on what happened there. But there's various basketball games and there's I think there's a Special Olympics. See, Current University. Yeah, at the top there. Special Olympics versus Monera at 4:30 p.m. at Arts. Okay.
That was today.
Hmm?
The Special Olympics, the Mamaroneck Arsley was today.
Okay, so it's listed in the calendar as tomorrow. So it already happened? Okay.
Yep. I was there.
Well, how do we do?
It was great. It was really fun. The team's working really well together. It's just a really good time for the kids.
Okay. And then Mary Jane Shipsky on the 14th will be sworn in once again at Woodlands Middle High School. And, yeah.
Is that invitational here? Is that?
It
is invitational. She has invited people to come. We not us. We're just hosting and having our kids involved. We kind of pushing this students to issue the code, but she stepped out of the side.
Okay, so don't come.
I would think it's okay, but I didn't send out a phone invitation.
Okay.
She had a list of people that work on all the players and people from.
Okay, good.
Her secretary did all that for me.
And then February 17th through 21st, winter recess, all schools closed. And then various committee meetings. There's an education committee on the 25th. There's a finance committee meeting on the 27th. And so it goes. The facilities committee meeting March 6th, and our next community engagement committee meeting is March 12th. And we should go through other concerns. And Edward Eller was the person who designed and built the first football field that Woodlands had, not the fact that it has AstroTurf on it, but one originally from Durham. yes, he's passed away, and, there's an idea of naming the field after it. So, the board has that now, we've gotten an application, I believe the administration is on board, and it's all up to the board now. So, I guess, I'll ask that it would be, right, on an agenda. And you had something?
That's what you remember about Millie Sheehan.
Millie Sheehan. Okay, so Millie Sheehan. We had a moment of silence for her earlier on in the year. She's also passed away, and the staff had, at least at the wake, they were talking about having some kind of, memorial kind of thing for her. Dr. Iverson, have you heard anything?
No, I have not. I'm hearing that.
And would you be open to there being something?
Is it a memorial program, or what is it that they want?
It's, I think the questions are mostly if, the district is going to do anything to honor her service, specifically something like a plaque or some kind of honor in her name.
So if someone were to donate a tree or a plaque, so look into it and figure out, what we're really allowed to do.
Yes.
Okay? And that is all that I have. Do other people have concerns that they wish to bring up? Do I hear a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I will move to adjourn.
Do I hear a second?
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Those opposed? We are adjourned. It's 8:24. Thank you for coming.